wait is almost over. Diablo III will launch on May 15th, 2012, almost 11 years after the Diablo II expansion Lord of Destruction shipped in the summer of 2001. The original Diablo is a classic, but the sequel made more of a lasting impression. Maybe you're still playing Diablo II right now, maybe you haven't played for a decade, maybe you have no idea what Diablo is. To get a sense of what's the same, what's changed, and how Diablo works, let's check out how the franchise has evolved from 2 to 3. The point of Diablo is to kill monsters and take their gear. You mangle big groups of enemies, pick up golden items, and equip the most powerful stuff so you can kill more efficiently. The challenge of the game continuously ramps up as you replay at higher difficulty levels, so you really do need to pay attention to your skill build and equipped gear if you want to survive. From Diablo 2 to 3, the format is still the same. Lightning-fast real-time combat presented from an overhead perspective. Diablo II originally launched in 2000 with 5 playable classes, and the expansion added 2 more. Of those, only one directly transitions to Diablo III, the Barbarian, but if you look closely, there are a lot of similarities between the two games. With the ability to summon creatures, Diablo III's Witch Doctor is sort of like Diablo II's Necromancer, but not exactly. By commanding elemental magic, Diablo III's Wizard is kind of like Diablo II's Sorceress, but far from the same. The Demon Hunter in Diablo III fights primarily from range, and shares some of the Diablo II Assassin's trap expertise. Then there's Diablo III's Monk, which has some common ground with Diablo II's Paladin in the form of group buffs, but also plenty of unique, rapid-fire close-range attacks. The shape-shifting ability of Diablo II's Druid isn't represented in Diablo III at all, so perhaps there's room for Blizzard to expand on that concept with post-launch Diablo III content. In this category, a whole lot has changed since the days of Diablo II. In Lord of Destruction, you can only have 2 skills active at any time. When you level up, you gain a skill point, which can then be spent on skills divided across branches. So if you want to use martial arts skills as an assassin, you put points into that tree. If you never spend a skill point on traps, you won't have access to traps, giving your choices more of a feeling of permanence. In Diablo III, your skills unlock automatically as you level. Up to 6 active abilities can be slotted at any one time, in addition to 3 passive skills, so finding skills that work well together is part of the fun. You can switch around skills easily, a significant departure from Diablo II's system. The bonus is that you're no longer locked into a restrictive build, so skill combo experimentation is a lot easier. The potential downside is it might eat away at your sense of class identity, because your skill choices don't have the same significance, and your stats auto-upgrade as you level. The ability to enhance skills in Diablo II by dumping multiple skill points into the same category has also changed in Diablo III. Instead of powering up individual skills, you unlock skill runes as you level, all of which modify the base skill. So with the proper rune activated, the zombie hands of the Witch Doctor's Grasp of the Dead skill change to eels, increasing the damage done. Try not to think about why eels do more damage than zombies. It's really not healthy. Diablo is mostly about fighting stuff. To stay alive, you need to use your skills. While in Diablo II, all classes used mana and could replenish your supplies with potions, Diablo III changes that. There are no more mana potions, and each class has a unique resource type. Wizards consume a rapidly regenerating arcane power, Witch Doctors still use mana, which also swiftly regenerates, and Barbarians build fury to trigger skills. Basically, this greatly lessens the importance of potions to stay alive. In Diablo II, your survival had a lot to do with spamming potions when in trouble. Health potions still exist in Diablo III, but there's a cooldown after using them, so you have to wait a while before they're available again. That means no potion spam. You'll get some additional help from health globes, which drop randomly and will refill some life, though you have to actually run over to them to activate them, giving you more of a reason to stay in a fight instead of retreat and heal. Once you're outside of towns, pretty much everything in Diablo wants to kill you. Sometimes they attack in small groups, sometimes in panic-inducing packs, and usually with different attack patterns. Some simply charge, some retreat after you make a kill, some blast out lightning every time they're hit, cast spells, or breathe fire. Sometimes you run up against more powerful versions of basic enemies, and eventually you fight bosses. Though the same types of enemies inhabit particular areas, their distribution and dungeon layouts change, so you never know exactly what to expect. There's no sense in ducking a challenge because against the especially difficult enemies, you'll get better stuff. This is just as true of Diablo III as it was in Diablo II, as you'll run into big packs of monsters that exhibit varied behavior. The challenge comes from identifying the highest threat and shutting it down as quickly as possible. This target prioritization and elimination needs to happen fast, multiple decisions per second, which is what makes Diablo so exciting. Managing inventory in Diablo is sort of like a puzzle game. You can only carry around as much as the grid allows for, rearranging items while in the field of battle until everything's full. In Diablo II, you then trigger a town portal to return to town, sell off your gear, see if vendors offer anything cool, then head back to fight and level and loot. For Diablo III, at least in the most recent beta build, the cycle of fight, town, fight is still the same. You collect as much gear as you can carry, then trigger a town portal to sell off everything before heading back out into the battlefield. You can drop off any especially cool items in a shared stash, accessible between all your characters, or put them up for sale for in-game gold or real money through the auction house, and then get right back into the fighting with minimal fuss, making the whole process a lot more interesting. Items drop randomly in Diablo. When you kill an enemy, you're never sure what you'll get, giving the reward structure a kind of slot machine appeal. You can tell what kind of item it is by the naming convention. Did you find a Ring of Greed? Well, then you've got an item with a gold find bonus. Stout Small Charm of Life? That's a charm with a boosted defense and bonus to health. This style of naming convention, where prefixes and suffixes indicate stats, carries over to Diablo III. If what you find in the field doesn't suit you, you can then make your own stuff. The system isn't all that well developed in Diablo II. Using your Herodric Cube, you can merge together gems to place in items for bonuses, or build an assortment of magic weapons and items. In Diablo III, Blizzard developed this system a lot more. You get access to a blacksmith early on who can make a huge number of items for you. To do this, you hand over gold and materials, and level up the blacksmith to eventually unlock the ability to craft extremely powerful items. Gems are still a big part of crafting as well, and tied to the jeweler artisan, letting you build better gems to fit into items for a variety of special effects. Basically, if you liked building items, Diablo 3's crafting system is far more sophisticated than what was in Diablo 2. Ideally, you'll play through Diablo 3 with friends, but if they're being jerks or never online, you can bring along computer-controlled combatants to help beat up Hellspawn. In Diablo 2, they were called mercenaries, and could be picked up in town, could level up, resurrected if they died, and equipped with a limited selection of items. In Diablo 3, they're called followers, and you can get more control over how they develop. Each of the 3 followers has unique skill trees, letting you choose bonuses as they level, though you can't learn them all. For example, if you want the Templar to heal, you won't be able to taunt. Like Diablo 2's mercenaries, followers can be equipped with a basic assortment of items to make them formidable in a fight, ensuring they're not slaughtered quite as quickly. There's a lot more to Diablo 3, but that's an overview of some of the major gameplay systems and how they've evolved since Diablo 2. When the game launches on May 15th, hopefully all the changes are for the better. For more on Diablo 3, head over to IGN.com.